This is the newsroom.
This is the newsroom for Monday, May 19, 2025. We're broadcasting to you on E1, SKAR TV, NTN, and TARZEE TV in Bartica. In the headlines, Indigenous leaders from around Guyana are in Georgetown for the annual National Toshaos Council Conference.
We must have a framework here to govern our people so that we can be able to lead and lead in an effective way.
A mother of two is fearful for her life after she was stabbed by her estranged husband. The probe into two explosions at the weekend continues. And in sport, Colombian rider dominates Independence three-stage cycle and Guyana go down to Barbados in Rugby 15s contest. With the news, I am Lazina Yearwood. Thanks for joining us. The annual National Toshaos Council NTC conference officially opened on Monday at the Arthur Chang Conference Center under the theme Robust Governance for Sustainable Village Development. The event, which runs from May 19 to 23, brings together leaders from over 254 Amerindian communities to engage in key discussions centered on development and the well-being of Indigenous peoples. President Dr. Irfan Ali, during his address, announced that some 250 firearm licenses should be granted to persons in Indigenous communities soon after requests were made for increased security support.
The annual National Toshaos Council NTC conference officially opened at the Arthur Chang Conference Center at Liliendal, Greater Georgetown under the theme Robust Governance for Sustainable Village Development. The event will run from Monday, May 19th to Friday, May 23rd, and brings together over 254 Amerindian communities to engage in key discussions centered on development and the well-being of Indigenous peoples. In his opening remarks, the chairman of the NTC, Derek John, emphasized the importance of strong and effective leadership in the various villages.
We must have a framework here to govern our people so that we can be able to lead and lead in an effective way. Sustainable, and a key word here. Sustainable is a process where we will use to manage our resources that it will not hinder future generations, but it will be able to allow them so they also can benefit from what we are benefiting today.
President Dr. Irfan Ali delivered a featured address at this year's NTC opening ceremony to a packed auditorium as they listened with rapt attention to his lengthy address. The president announced that some 250 firearm licenses are expected to be granted to various Indigenous communities. The request for the firearm licenses is a response to security concerns by these various villages.
We had about 250 requests from Toshaos leaders and other village elders or persons recommended from the villages for firearm shotgun license, mostly for the protection of the villages. And this is an issue that is raised. I am pleased to tell you today that every one of those applications was processed and you will get those licenses to take back in the villages.
Speaking about the further development of the Indigenous peoples, the president said that his government will be investing in more economic and entrepreneurial activities. This includes specific resources for hinterland marketing, promotion, as well as tourism.
For your direct village, eco-tourism and other tourism facility will have direct marketing budget, separate and
At the end of his lengthy presentation, the Guyanese head of state noted that other announcements will be made as the conference continues throughout this week. We spoke with several Indigenous leaders who briefly talked about their agendas for this year's conference, namely security, infrastructural and economic development, as well as development in sports.
Every leader look forward to this opportunity So as a priority for us, obviously security, because Kako, my village, is one of the communities that are almost to the border area in Kuyuni, Mazaruni. So I think while we understand that the government might be taking steps privately, perhaps through all the means possible, communities, including mine, are still on the alert as to what the possibilities are. So that is one of our major concern, and I think we are ready to also support the government in this matter. Secondly, for us is always related to mining and environmental issues. In this regard, I look forward to a one-on-one dialogue with the minister and the agencies. I find that to be more fruitful than inside the conference itself, understanding that there's a whole set of leaders there. So it's almost impossible to discuss complex issues in that setting. Thirdly, I would say that something I look forward to would be other priorities of the government to see where they align with ours so that we can know how to position ourselves as a community for the investments perhaps, and also where we may have a stakeholder interest and that we can be able to address that from early on.
Our residents, we are mostly focusing on economical projects. The border controversy that we are facing presently, which we know that Venezuela, they are kind of being in some aggressive form at times. We have been seeing more patrols from our GDF, and that also bring a comfort to us.
Some areas that I would love to see development in sports, especially hinterland generally within sports, especially when it comes to government intervention, as in supplying funds, because currently, if you would check within the different communities, you would hardly see these associations such as Guyana Football Federation, the Guyana Cricket Board. You would hardly see the having representative in this area, which would eventually have development in sports. So there's limited access to youth in the community within the hinterland area for sports. So I believe through the government intervention, as in probably providing funds, having available leagues within this community, this would greatly improve sports when it comes to sports.
Multi-purpose building that they have to do rehabilitation of the multi-purpose, right? And of the mining that we have Brazilian mining in our sub-district. So I have to raise that issue.
The various Toshaos and leaders were urged to take full advantage of this 5-day conference, make lasting impact and meaningful dialogue. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Isanella Paso.
Religious institutions like churches, temples, and mosques have long served as important pillars in communities, and more government support will be channeled into these bodies soon. This was highlighted by President Dr. Irfan Ali during his address at the 2025 National Toshaos Council (NTC) conference on Monday.
We're going to support, and I want to make this very clear, because you are religious communities. The church, the temples, and the mosques, and every other religious institution plays a key and critical role in our community. And most of you are Christians. And you know that a part of faith, a strong part of faith, is giving your tithes to the church, supporting the work of the church. But I believe, and we in this government believe too, that as our country grow in material richness, spiritual richness, and human richness, that the country also must support our religious organizations. That the country must support our churches, our temples, and our mosques, because they play an important role in the social, moral, and civil fabric of our society. And one of the things that we will do is that we will work with our religious community in transferring resources directly to them to help them in their work. This is what love is.
The Guyana Police Force is investigating 2 explosions, one at a Guyana Power and Light GPL substation at Mandela Avenue and the other at the East Ruimveldt Police Station. In a release, police headquarters said the substation experienced suspicious damage in the wee hours of Saturday. Earlier Saturday, it was reported that the gate of the East Ruimveldt Police Outpost was blown off after an improvised explosive device was thrown at the facility by unknown individuals. Police said the 2 incidents occurred around the same time. So, authorities are investigating the possibility of a coordinated effort between the 2 incidents. Several persons were questioned and the police said the matters are being seriously addressed while efforts are being made to ensure public safety. On Monday afternoon, Crime Chief Wendell Blanham said the probe was still ongoing. Felicia Daramjeet, 30, a mother of 2, now lives in fear after her estranged husband stabbed her and injured their son during a disagreement on Friday. During an interview with the newsroom on Monday, Daramjeet said she has been married to Mahindra Ramprasad for some 14 years. However, the woman left their Monrepo, East Coast Demerara home 3 months ago and took their 2 sons, an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old, with her. They have been staying with her parents at Bladen Hall, East Coast Demerara. On Friday at about 1500 hours, Ramprasad, who picks up the children from school each day, went to the residence where an argument ensued and the stabbing took place.
About 3 months now, we separate. And I was staying by my mom, right? And normally he come and he pick up the kids, them, drop them to school and bring them home. So every time he keep telling me somebody, I always tell him something that about I get a relationship and I go in here and I go in there. And every time he call me. So Friday, he drop home the kids them and he come. And I was inside and he come upstairs by the door. So I asked him what you doing there, and he said that he started to argue. That's how I telling people that he don't look after the children. Them, I said whoever I tell, let the person come and talk in front of me. And he said he don't have to bring nobody, and he don't have nothing to live for. So my mother tell me that go home, and she go to lock the door. When she goes to lock the door, he open the door, push me, and then he come and attack me with the knife. And I tried to fight, and also the 2 kids jump up and try to beg me. And the big one, he gets some cut on his hand, and the one in the palm, and one on the thumb. And then after he see that I did lifeless, he run away. He took me in the neck to outside, and after how I tried to fight, he cut me up on the hand and the palm and so. Well, normally he used to be on and off. He used to be abusing on and off. I get returning hard and so we end up and we live back. You know, I was back and forth. My life and also the 2 kids' life. Yeah, she was nice. Everything was nice, you know. But after, like, I get my son, like, everything, like, started to change, you know.
Still to come, we tell you a government mandate so that homeowners can get cheaper loans and promises made to workers. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. President Dr. Irfan Ali announced that the government is engaging the New Building Society (NBS) so that the mortgage ceiling can be increased to $30 million with an interest rate capped at 5%. The written request was made by Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh on Sunday morning. President Ali made the announcement as he addressed persons gathered at a Labor Day brunch hosted on the lawns of State House in Georgetown.
Do you want easier home ownership? Do you want less interest rate on your loans? Do you want easier loans? I can't hear you. Then you're assured of that under the People's Progressive Party civic government. And to tell you, and to demonstrate to you how much you're assured, I will make one more step forward in this direction today. At 9:45 a.m., I instructed the Minister of Finance to write to the New Building Society and to increase their loan limit to $30 million with a guarantee that their interest rate on loans, 30 million and below for housing, will be 5% maximum. We want to help you to build greater productivity, and we are committing to you that we will make loans for small and medium-sized businesses more easily accessible with concessional interest rates. We will create a special development agency that would give SMEs and every Guyanese family the opportunity to get business loans at concessional rates under a special window that will be created. We're going to invest to ensure the participation of every Guyanese in building a prosperous country. We'll invest to ensure the participation of every Guyanese in building a united country.
President Dr. Irfan Ali on Sunday assured workers that they will enjoy better salaries and fewer taxes. Other benefits promised are enhanced healthcare, improved education, cash grants, alongside lower water and electricity rates.
I want to assure you of a few things. As we confront the challenges of the future, you can be assured under a People's Progressive Party civic government of higher levels of income. Do you want higher levels of income? You will be assured of continuous higher levels of income. Do you want less taxation? Do you want less taxation? You will be assured of less taxation under the People's Progressive Party civic government. You, the backbone of our country, the labor, you have that great responsibility of holding us all accountable, holding every single leader accountable. And let me make this point. Sacrifice a lot. And labor deserves a lot.
Disaster preparedness talks commenced on Monday at the opening of the Mechanism for Disaster Cooperation Exercise, MECODEX 2025. This event, hosted by Guyana this year, is a major regional disaster response simulation exercise designed to strengthen international cooperation, solidarity, and enhance national preparedness for environmental, logistical, or other complex emergencies. Brazilian Air Force Lieutenant General Flavio Luiz de Oliveira Pinto, Director General of the Inter-American Defense Board, during remarks at the Pegasus Hotel and Corporate Center in Georgetown, said the discussion over the 4-day event will focus on regional issues and responsibilities. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, in his remarks, reaffirmed Guyana's commitment to the vision of regional solidarity, proactive planning, and collective capacity building.
The disaster cooperation mechanism aims to optimize the response and management of international resources in the face of natural or man-made disaster, supporting the effort of the affected country. With this activity, we seek to strengthen preparedness, coordination, and the joint response capacity to the major disaster in the hemisphere.
I affirm Guyana's commitment to this vision of regional solidarity, proactive planning, and collective capacity building. We are proud to host this exercise and prouder still to play our part in building a safer, more prepared hemisphere. Let it be more than just a test of systems. Let it be a reaffirmation of values. The value of partnership, the value of preparedness, and most of all, the value of human life. While these developments bring new opportunities, you would agree with me that they also introduce responsibilities and risk. We as a people recognize that as our economic landscape changes, our risk profile evolves as well.
With 6 events lined up this year, there is something for everyone at the Genesis weekend. So whether it's fashion or entertainment, the Hits and Jams Genesis Independence Weekend 2025 promises to be one for the books. The events kick off on May 21st and conclude on May 26th, with each day featuring performances across all genres. Among those expected in Guyana are Kes the Band, Jamaican dancehall superstar Vybz Kartel, and dancehall queen Spice. Tickets are going fast and persons are urged to secure theirs at the earliest. So from May 21st all the way to the 26th, it is 6 days of highly anticipated events, like you said, and we are pulling out all stops to ensure that it's a memorable experience for everyone who comes to be a part of this event. We do not take their patronage lightly, and so we start off right at the airport with Touchdown, which is a welcome home event for Guyanese near and far, and even persons who are coming to our shores to experience our Genesis Independence events. And you know, there's going to be a lot of cultural presentations, merchandise being handed away, just our way of saying thank you for making the effort to be home during this very important season. Our second event is the ladies' favorite, which is El Dorado Singing Nettles, which is a rum-inclusive event. It is about the performers that we know and love. Kes the Band, he's been here for several years, and of course, as he continues to reinvent himself, it's no secret why he's on that stage yet again. He's joined by Young Brother, Kwesi Ace and the Fame Band, Umaya Hall, Vakadi, and Tony Cuts, and that's happening at the Guyana Marriott parking lot. On our third day, we have the Extra Stink and Dirty Juve, which is a fast-paced, steamy event. Of course, that's a Juve. We're going to be incorporating so many events or so many elements from across the Caribbean. We've introduced or using the best practices that we've known and learned. So there's going to be water, paint, foam, powder. It's going to have a little bit of everything. There's going to be trucks inside the stadium. Of course, all safety protocols will be established. And there's going to be performers as well. So we have the best in this soca steamy genre. We have Young Brother again, this time to bring a little bit more pace, a little bit more steam. We have Lady Lava. We have, of course, our very own Maya Hall and OKC and Jomo Primer. They're going to be on that stage sharing it. And we recently added Saki to that lineup. And so what's really different about this Juve experience is that we've teamed up with local businesses like Masmani as well as the Coded Carnival, so that it can be a collaborative effort where everybody wins from this experience. So of course, the event of all events, this is the event that is the talk of the entire country as we head on to day 4, which is Magnum Badoration. Magnum Badoration features, of course, the Grammy-nominated dancehall icon. He goes without no need for introduction, Vybz Kartel. He's also going to be joined by the proclaimed Queen of Dancehall, the Queen of Dancehall, Spice. And of course, we cannot do our concert without incorporating our local talents. We have the Guyana's dancehall monarch reigning currently, Calvin Burnett. We also have the very talented and hit-making Mafi all the way from Linden. And so they're going to be sharing that Botheration stage. Of course, all of our events are complemented by the best DJs in the country. We utilize them, we love them. And so this event is going to be one for the books, definitely. That's happening at the Guyana National Stadium. And it goes without saying that this is what Guyanese are most excited for, and we cannot wait to put on a production of a lifetime for you. On Sunday, we head to Soak and Wine at the Marriott Beachfront. It's powered by Luke Belair and Obiqua. And of course, when you come there, there's going to be tasting of wine from a selected time. This event is one of Guyana's most fashionable events. We've seen it over the years. Our Guyanese really look forward to having their creativity shine in terms of fashion on this stage. And we're super excited to see the fits this year. Our last event is Kabisa Kulaud, which is happening at the Guyana Marriott Beachfront. And right out there, we're going to be also having performances by top artists from across the region. We have Molly Dawn, we have our very own Amaya Hall, we have Jimo Primo, and we also have Voice all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. So there's a little bit of everything. And it's the finale of our event, so we're definitely going out with a bang. So we've been having these events since 2018, and this year we're really focused on ensuring that our patrons are pleased at the end of all the events. So there's a lot of promotions that we have in store for our patrons to benefit from. For example, this year we teamed up with Jay's Auto to give away a whole car for our patrons. All you have to do is attend 3 of our events, and that is how you enter officially to win that car. There's also a lot of promotions where our patrons have a lot of merchandise they can win. There's a lot of wine tasting. There's a lot of ways that they can benefit. So we're really stressing on ensuring that our customers have value for their money. So we've been using our very own ticketing site, hgexperience.com, along with other sites like Eventbrite, and we've been seeing a high traffic from persons in the US, persons in Suriname, and generally across the region. So we can expect a lot of persons coming to Guyana for this season. You're going to see next week it's going to be packed, and we love that we're able to just contribute to entertainment tourism in Guyana and just to help fill the pockets of our Guyanese, because you know, from the hotels to the business people, we really want to ensure that we all benefit from events like these. We have been upping the ante on everything that we're doing in terms of production, creativity. Listen, we are pulling out all stops to ensure that this is a memorable experience for all of our patrons. We do not take your support lightly. And so I just want to encourage you to head out there and let us have the greatest experience at these 6 days, brought to you by Genesis Carnival and Hits and Jams Entertainment. So we have ticketing locations all across the country. We've teamed up with churches. So every time you go to a church's location, you can ask them about tickets for HJ, Genesis Independence Weekend, as well as the mobile service stations. They also have tickets, and of course our regular ticketing locations, from right here at our box office at 206 Landscape Street to Stovetop to Fireside to all of our boutiques where you go and, you know, do your regular shopping for your clothes. You can ask them for tickets and they will definitely have that available. But for more information and a detailed breakdown of all our ticketing locations, I encourage you to follow Genesis Carnival on Instagram or HJ94 Radio on Instagram or any of our social media pages. The Guyana Hindu Dharmic Sabha held its final Sanskriti event in observance of Arrival Day 2025 on Sunday evening at the Dharmic Rama Krishna School, Tarmac.
My father always said, "Do not fear the storm, my son, for it is the passage to your destiny." I've never imagined my destiny would be shackled to this land, under the whip of our British masters. They promised us freedom, a life without hunger, a chance to build anew. They lied. It is nothing like that. Our children sleep hungry, even as we toil day and night on the plantations.
Auni padharo mare desi ho मारे देश रे केसरिया बाल आओ ने पधारो मारे देश और केले बवरसा आओ ने पधारो मारे देश
चेरो ना चेरो सवलिया हमार 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 सवलिया हमार सवलिया हमार सवलिया हमार सवलिया हमार चेरो ना चेरो सवलिया हमार चेरो ना चेरो सवलिया हमार बाहे गई मैदान के हमरो निसार बा आकाश पे बरसात ये बातों न हो शायद फिर से जन्म मुलाकात हो न हो
इबड़ में जागी धोकनी चंदा में थारी चांदनी मन दामन में पा ही खुशी रे झुम 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 ओ मेरे इबड़ में जागी धोकनी चंदा में थारी चांदनी मन दामन में पा
When the newsroom returns, the financial, weather, and bridge reports, along with sport news. Stay with us. welcome back to the newsroom. In tonight's sport, we start things off with cycling news. Colombian Mateo Garcia delivered a sublime performance at the 42nd National Sports Commission's Independence three-stage cycle race, completing a rare clean sweep of all three stages to claim the overall title emphatically. Garcia was simply in a class of his own over approximately 160 miles of racing. His flawless execution over the 3 days culminated in a dominant general classification victory with a combined time of 6 hours, 18 minutes and 47 seconds. This commanding performance earned him the coveted winner's crown and a purse of 160,000 Guyana dollars. His Team Raiders teammate, Jadian Neves, finished over 5 minutes adrift. Guyanese rider Robin Persad, competing in the Masters 35-50 category, showed remarkable consistency to secure a commendable third place in the general classification.
3 from 3. Congrats on being the new champion of this race. How do you feel with performance?
Yes, I am feeling today a lot strong. And yesterday a lot strong. I am happy. I am happy for 3 stages.
What do you make of the 3 stages and the level of competition?
The level is good. I think it's good more teams for this race. This race have the good routes and the police have the good job for the race.
You think you would come back next year to defend?
Yes.
Director of Sport Steve Ninval praised the cyclists who competed in the 42nd edition of the Independence three-stage cycle road race, which concluded on Sunday morning in Providence. Colombian Mateo Garcia was crowned the champion, winning all 3 stages of the 2-day event, which covered approximately 160 miles. The race, organized by the National Sports Commission, saw participation from 45 cyclists.
To the participants, because when there was talk about this not being able to be done, we said, yes, we can, rather than no, we can't. And I think that's the attitude that we need to have. The Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, National Sports Commission, and by extension the Government of Guyana is very happy to be a part of this event. And as I said earlier, right away we will be going back to the blackboard to make sure that when this is held in 2026, and it's better. Now, I think everybody that participated here today would have won, because it makes you a better participant for 2026, and there's much more in store. So the cycling fraternity has some work to do, but we are willing as the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport to make sure that we embrace you and we guide in order to make this sport better.
After grueling nearly 160 miles, Colombian Mateo Garcia was crowned champion of the 42nd Independence three-stage cycle race after winning all 3 stages over the 2 days. In 2024, Guyana's Britton John, who did not compete this year, produced an identical feat. Garcia's teammate from Team Raiders, a Trinidadian club, Jadian Neves, was second, followed by Guyana's Robin Persad, a Masters 35-50 competitor. Aaron Newton, Adam Alexander, and Paul Dinobrega rounded out the top 6 in the general classification. Here's a look at 3 stages through the lens of Avdesh Narain and Kurth Cadogan. Indigenous produced a commanding performance to defeat Guyana 43-5 in a Rugby America's North (RAN) match at Garrison Savannah in Bridgetown on Saturday. The home side was in rampant form against the Green Machine, a Guyana team that struggled to find its rhythm. This result marks a disappointing follow-up for Guyana, who were also heavily beaten 48-17 by the Cayman Islands in their previous outing in April. Barbados' comprehensive victory goes against the recent historical trend between the two nations. Guyana had emerged victorious in 6 of their last 7 official test matches against Barbados heading into this encounter. The match was part of a series of regional RAN fixtures throughout 2025. Cricket West Indies Director of Cricket Miles Bascom
as well
has
as
clarified that the new
more
Test captain
direct
and
training,
vice captain
which is something that we have not
Jamel Warken
we have
were
not
the top
done
2
in the
candidates
past
based on the results
and
of
has to
various
be a part
tests
of a
they
wider
conducted. Because they
leadership
wanted to
training
maintain
program
integrity,
that we
they
are
did not opt to
currently in
use
the
a
process of
different metric
developing.
to appoint
So
a
the
younger
idea
candidate
is
in a
that
grooming role
we
as
have
vice
our
captain.
strongest 2
Speaking Monday at a
candidates
virtual press
as
conference,
captain and vice
Bascom
captain,
indicated that the
and in terms of a
shortlisted younger
succession
players
plan,
will be
we
part of a
will
development
focus on the
process to
younger
groom future leaders.
on the younger
The other
candidates
candidates on the
and
review were Joshua De
provide
Silva,
them developmental
Tevin Imlach,
opportunities
John Campbell,
as part
and
of our
Justin
program.
Breeze.
In terms of the vice captain, as we said, we talked about the integrity of the process one, and so the persons who came out first and second, we felt were the best fit for both roles. It was about starting with the person who is in the strongest position at this point and helping them to grow in the role going forward. And similarly, we wanted to start with the strongest possible next person as their support, right, to ensure that we have a quality think tank working along with the head coach and his team management staff. Now, that is not to say that we have not, we are not thinking about succession. A couple of the younger players that were in our shortlist and went through the process, we have identified to continue working with them in terms of their development as leaders. So through A teams, opportunities for captaincy will be they will get those as part of their leadership development, as well as more direct training, which is something that we have not done in the past and has to be a part of a wider leadership training program that we are currently in the process of developing. So the idea is that we have our strongest 2 candidates as captain and vice captain, and in terms of a succession plan, we will focus on the younger candidates and provide them developmental opportunities as part of other programs.
And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's newscast. You can find these and other stories at our website, newsroom.gy, or on our social media pages, Newsroom Guyana.